matchup where he will be here in Philadelphia for ESPN Monday Night Countdown. But Adam Schefter had a crazy busy day on the first Sunday of the NFL season. Shefty, man, you were busy that first day.
Well, good morning, Andrew and John, and that was a opening day unlike any other. I don't recall a situation. I was saying I wish my friend Mort were here because he would have really enjoyed it, and I would have said to him, and I think he would have agreed, that I would say that was the most unique, action-packed Week 1 opener, Sunday Countdown style, in the history of the show. The show has been on air for 40 years. And I think I could say that confidently.
I think you can, too.
Yeah, only because of this. Like, in the course of a season, we may get 2 or 3 live stories unfolding on air. Maybe 2 or 3. Maybe. Like, I mean, significant things, right? And in the span of about 30 minutes on Sunday, we had Jamar Chase, the drama surrounding him not taking the deal, and him deciding to play, which in and of itself would be a big story. You had the Steelers quarterback issue, which, again, that'll happen multiple times during the course of the week, but usually the teams have an announcement. They don't take it down to the actors and actors. Fine, again, secondary, not as significant as other things. Then you've got Dak Prescott, the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, America's team,
right,
signing the richest contract in NFL history. The richest. Okay? That's a big deal. Hours before the opener. In real time. Big deal. And then the Tyreek Hill situation, which was disturbing and unique and incredible on so many levels. Hours before the opener. And they all happened like bam, bam, bam.
Right. What did you find the alarming thing or the exciting thing or the most interesting thing about the Friday night Brazil opener with the Birds? Because we're still breaking it down, and there are a lot of people that I think seem a little shocked that the Eagles came away with a victory.
Well, they were outplayed early on, and I felt like Green Bay had a real chance to separate itself early in the game and didn't. And when they couldn't widen the gap and take the lead and take control of the game, that's when, Philadelphia hung around and was able to come back and then make its push. But the Packers had them early on. They outplayed them early on. The Eagles came out a little flat. And the Eagles, to their credit, rallied, played well, and Jordan Love gets hurt at the end of the game. And that's how quickly the fortunes of any one team can change. It's right. Incredible. It's incredible. Like, by the way, I was thinking at one point, there was a guy on the Eagles, if I remember, wasn't there a play like they got down to a certain yard line, they could have ran out the clock, they could have taken a knee and then kicked the field goal, and they didn't do that, and now time would have run out, and Green Bay wouldn't have got the ball back, and because they wouldn't have gotten the ball back, Love wouldn't have been on the field, and he wouldn't have gotten hurt, and he wouldn't miss time. Like,
there was times that they made a couple throws that definitely affected clock management.
Right.
But I got to tell you, it's tough to critique the clock management that Nick Sirianni did, because Matt LaFleur, he was throwing them around like it was dollar bills at a strip club. I mean, he was wasting his all night long.
Yeah, well, again, just like I said, from my perspective, just in my job, I just, I see Jordan Love go down, and, we'll see how Malik Willis plays this week, but Malik Willis isn't Jordan Love. And that's going to be an issue for that team for however long Love misses. And my guess is he misses a minimum of 2 games. That'd be my guess. Probably maybe 3. And they play the Vikings at home. Like, I could see him trying to get back for that game.
Shefty, I want to get your opinion on this. Obviously, leading up to the season, we do so much sports talk about a season that hadn't started yet. So there's lists, there's rankings, there's all kinds of stuff. And you and I, the 3 of us, have talked about it a couple of times, and we don't spend too much time on it. And I'm realizing something, Shefty. The time spent on Jalen Hurts and where he ranks among quarterbacks in the NFL, honestly, man, it doesn't matter. And I don't think he needs to be elite for this team to win. I think he just needs to go out there and not make mistakes. You saw him make some mistakes in week 1. You saw him make some great plays in week 1. Ultimately, they won the football game. Is the term game manager really such a bad thing, Shefty?
Well, I don't view him in that way. I don't think that's how he is. And he may not have to be elite for them to win, but he's going to have to be good.
Okay.
He didn't play well early on, and they were behind. And then he got it together, and he stepped up his game, and they, not coincidentally, the offense stepped up its game, and they played well, and they won. And if Jalen Hurts didn't play well after about the first quarter or so, they wouldn't have won the game. And so you don't need him to be elite, but you do need him to be good. Because if he's not good, they're not going to be good.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I mean, he can't be making the mistakes that he was making, but if he's just making the right throws and not trying to do too much, because his second interception may have been considered hero ball. So if he just kind of limits those mistakes, and if he just kind of plays this offense, and oh, by the way, he has a beast of a running back now in Saquon Barkley, I don't think he has to do too much.
Well, again, Saquon, I think, is going to be a huge piece. And, you know, what's interesting, I mean, I could say this now. In one of my fantasy football leagues, my partners and I had the 5th overall pick, 5th. And last week I made the argument to them that we need to take Saquon Barkley. And we did, which 5th is probably higher than he went in most leagues. And that was what, I wasn't expecting 3 touchdowns, but that's what I was expecting out of him this season. I'm expecting, if he can stay healthy, knock on wood, a big Saquon season incoming.
You know Vic Fangio well, and you know what he wants to do and what he wants to accomplish. Mm-hmm. That defense, and we talked about it a little bit earlier in this call, the defense sort of saved the day, holding them to 3 on those 2 red zone turnovers that, Green Bay got in the first quarter. What did you see out of the Vic Fangio defense that makes you say, could he be potentially a little ahead of the curve with some of these younger guys?
Well, it's going to be a process, John, and it's going to be an all-year thing. And I think the defense does have some question marks that they have to answer, and they do have some areas where they could be vulnerable. But, and I've said this to Vic. I'm like, well, Vic, that's why they got you. That's why they got you. Right? It's like, well, Vic, you're one of the greatest defensive coordinators to ever do this, in my mind. Like, your job is to make sure that everything's protected and that if there are any weaknesses or questions that you're accounting for them. You don't like to hear that, but it's true. He's that good, and he can do that. And they did a nice job on Friday night in the opener, and the defense, I think, should get better over time.
Non-Eagles related note, even though the Eagles do play them in their 5th game of the schedule in Week 6, the Cleveland Browns. I got to ask you, Schefter, what does Cleveland do at the quarterback position if it continues to be as bad as it was Week 1 and in the limited amounts of games that Deshaun Watson played in last season?
Well, let me say this. First and foremost, first game of the year, offensive line is hurt, down, missing guys, under pressure all day. He didn't play in the preseason at all. It was his first game since shoulder surgery. He lost his father and a close friend last week. That's the 2 people. So there are a whole lot of issues, and I'm not going to make an excuse for him. What I am going to say, though, is he didn't play well. There are a lot of reasons for him not to play well. If he plays like that all year long, it's going to be a major storyline all year long. 1 week, we'll give him a pass. Absolutely. There's a lot that happened, a lot he's trying to overcome personally, professionally, physically, mentally. So, all good. Like, no problem. A lot of guys came out rusty. Kirk Cousins came out rusty. We can look across the league with teams playing their players less and less in the first week of the season. Guys are going to be rusty. And he was. And there needs to be improvement there. And there needs to be development and production there. And if there's not, we're going to come back and answer that question all year long. But
the Jordan Mason story fascinates me because I don't believe for one second that the young man's lying when he said he was told on Friday that he was starting.
Let me say this without having spoken to anybody about it. Here's my interpretation of what happened. Okay, here's what I know. On Friday, Christian McCaffrey pulled himself out of practice. Didn't feel right. Okay? On Friday night, I believe they told him, hey, Jordan, we're going to need you on Monday night. You better get ready as if you're going to start. I don't think they told him that he's starting. By the way, there are very few coaches who are any more honest and transparent about injuries and everything than Kyle Shanahan.
He does talk a lot, like
Okay.
compared to other coaches.
He is as honest as it gets in those things. Okay? And so I think they told Jordan Mason, hey, you get ready to start here. Get ready to start. Like, this could happen. And so he operated like he was starting. Because I'm just telling you, I'm on the field Monday, and I'm with some 49ers officials talking before the game, and they're talking about McCaffrey. Now, are they trying to dupe me? I don't think so. And I texted one of the guys there. I'm like, what the hell on McCaffrey? And he goes, I just found out an hour ago. Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. So you're telling me that some of the most influential and powerful people that didn't know that Christian McCaffrey was playing, and they found out at that time, and that Jordan Mason knew Friday night he was starting, and all these other people didn't? I don't believe that.
I would just tell you in counter, I would find it hard to believe that Jordan Mason misremembers like the most important moment of his professional life, of his football life.
John, I agree with you. But again, what I'm saying to you is, what was he told? Jordan,
No, I know. You're giving him the benefit of you're giving Shanahan the benefit of the doubt, and I'm not. Maybe that's unfair of me. So I'm not saying you're wrong. You're well connected.
Clearly, Jordan Mason was told something on Friday. I'm not questioning him.
Right.
My point is, I think it was more along. I think I might be wrong. I'm going to ask some people. I'm going to follow up on it. But I think he was told, hey, get ready to start. Be prepared to start. We're going to need you Monday night. Something along those lines, right? To where he thought, I'm starting. You follow what I'm saying?
Sure, no, I do. I think we both are assuming it's just a matter of whether or given the benefit of the doubt, we're going to hopefully it'll get figured out. I'm sure it will.
No,
you're saying he was told.
I think he was told he was starting.
Okay, and I'm saying that
because that's a hard thing to misremember for me. To believe that a player misremembers.
I believe he was told a version.
And you very well may be right. Absolutely,
a version of the idea that you're starting. Not officially, but like, hey, we're going to need you. Get ready to start. Be prepared. Like, I don't think he was told flat out, you're starting Monday night. I don't think that, but I might be wrong.
Now, I think you're going to be prepared for Monday night. Monday Night Football here in Philadelphia. We'll be seeing Adam Schefter in the Philadelphia area. Is that correct?
Wow.
Oh, you have no idea how prepared I am for Monday night. I am fired up about it. You have no idea.
Are they trying to do almost like a college game day setup since it's going to be over at Xfinity Live? Usually the majority of stuff goes on in the stadium.
I have no idea where anything's at. I don't know anything about it.
You're upstaging Connor, and you're upstaging Andrew and Bill Colarulo.
Yeah, there's two
show
pregame shows
at
in
the
town,
same facility.
Shefty. All right, two pregame shows, same town and same establishment.
And you're
Live.
You're upstaging.
We might have to do an anchor man. Nobody touches the hair.
So you're telling me that ESPN is doing stuff from Xfinity Live?
Yes.
What is Xfinity? Well, I don't know.
It's right. It's the collection of bars and restaurants, the complex right next to the link and sort of next to Citizens Bank, right there.
Huh?
Yes. I'm glad we got some breaking news for Adam.
Yeah, wow, we broke it for Shefty. How about that?
I like that. Hey,
I don't get into the logistics of anything like that. I show up.
Hey, I know today is a very important day in your household, and it's something that we've discussed off the air. And if you have not, to the members of our audience, if you have not read Adam's book, The Man I Never Met, I think I told Andrew this morning, Adam, I think the book will make you cry at times. Some of the little stories have made you choke up. But I think it is such a story of hope and determination and the story of your family. And I'd love to have you just share a few moments today on 9/11.
Yeah, well, this day always is very, very somber and surreal. And, even this morning, it's so hard for, you just think of the worst day of your life that you ever had. And you would hope, it's in your mind always, but you would hope that, you'd never come down and be reminded about it on TV. Like, we walked downstairs this morning, and my wife and I, we're getting the dog's breakfast ready, getting my daughter ready. And, the first thing that my wife sees on TV, today's 9/11, the day of remembrance. We're going to have the moments of silence. And it's in your face all the time. This week, not just this day, but this week, always, always, always. It feels different because it is different. And it's not just my wife and the Mayo family. It's all the families that were affected. But, of course, I'm married to a woman who lost her husband on 9/11. And the Mayo family lost their son and their brother and their uncle and their friend on 9/11. And there are so many stories like that. And it's the darkest day in our country's history. I hope we never have anything like that ever again. And it's just real. It's just palpable. You could feel it all week. You feel it today. It's always a sad and strange day.
Now, the weird thing is I read the book, Adam, again when I was sick last year. So I'm literally a cancer patient. I read the book because I remember I was reading a lot, and I just things that I'd read before, and I remembered how it made me walk away with a positive message, though. And I was looking for things that gave a positive message. And it is a beautiful, beautiful read and a great tribute. And I think everybody should check it out. The Man I Never Met, if you get the opportunity.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And honestly, I wrote the book, for a couple of different reasons. I always thought it would be great for my son to remember his biological father, who he was a year old when he lost his dad. And I thought it would be a great way to honor Joe and have people remember him. And, 23 years. It's amazing. 23 years.
You did a great job. You don't have to say anymore.
Yeah.
Did a great job.
It was fantastic.
Thank you.
Shefty, we appreciate it, man. And thank you for telling us that story at the end there. And we can't wait to see you on our television screens Monday night in Philadelphia.
No, we're going to see him in
to
person.
Well, I don't know, man.
I'm putting something on.
He's trying to upstage our pregame show. I understand it, though, Shefty. We'll talk to you next week again.